Hi, everyone. Today is New Year's Eve. I'm recording this because you can't start the new year without talking about goals. And I am very cozy today. I am not going out. We are doing a couch celebration tonight. But we also, me and my partner, are going to sit down and talk about the goals that we want to set for ourselves in the new year. I don't usually do this. I generally do goal setting throughout the year, but I think it's a really positive way to start a new year, especially after one that's been super stressful and filled with so much uncertainty. We've all had things that have tried us and made us want to give up. And I really want to celebrate the fact that I've gotten this far. I want you to celebrate the fact that you've gotten this far. And any steps you've taken, whether big or small, should be celebrated. And we want to keep that momentum going as we go into the new year. I'm big on new beginnings. I love starting a new chapter, starting a new journey, trying something new. I also love to revisit things and improve on them, right? Even myself, I want to be a better version of myself all the time. So every year, I always try to think of some things that I want to work on to make me a better version of me. So as we walk into the new year, because I'm walking, I ain't running, I'm strolling casually as I come into this cozy season. But as I go into this new year, I want to be clear on the things that I want to accomplish, whether or not you believe in, say, the law of attraction. It is true that the more you work on yourself, the more magnetic you become and the more great things you magnetize. I am a firm believer that good things will come to you if you work toward them. But you have to put yourself out there. You have to be intentional about what you want. You have to be intentional about what you're working toward. And I promise if you're intentional and what you want aligns with your values, then it will come together. If there's a lot of resistance, if you're lazy, if you procrastinate, if you just hope that things come to you without doing any of the work, I've got some news for you. It doesn't work like that. So we're getting intentional about goal setting. And I want to talk first about goals that you should never set for yourself. And then I want to talk about some goals that you could set for yourself on a personal level, on a career level, and on a relationship level. Let's get into it. All right. So when we're talking about goals that we don't want to set, that we should never ever set for ourselves, we're talking about goals that you have been setting for yourself for years and you are not achieving them. If you have a goal like I want to lose 50 pounds in a month, that is so unattainable, also super unhealthy. Please don't do that. And if every year you start the year thinking, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this month, or I'm going to lose 30 pounds this month, and you're not being reasonable and you're not approaching it with a holistic attitude, or you're not willing to change your lifestyle, then you're going to get nowhere closer to that goal. So, number one, drop the goals that you've had sitting on the sidelines or that maybe don't align with where you are now in your life. Drop them, let them go. What we want to do instead is set attainable goals. I want to lose maybe 5 pounds this month, or something as simple and scaled back as I just want to move 20 minutes 3 times a week, get myself moving, get into a healthier routine, get into a healthier mindset, and then you can grow from there. Starting small means that you're aligning your goals with things that are attainable. You're busy. You have jobs, kids, extracurricular activities, hobbies, you have partners. We have all of these things that we need to manage. Don't go crazy heavy the first month of the year trying to do something so big that doesn't make any sense. Because if you don't achieve it in January, chances are it falls off for the rest of the year, and then you're going to come back to it next year and try to do it again. We're not doing that this year. We're setting attainable goals. So start with something small like I want to move my body 3 times a week for 20 minutes. Go for a walk, go to the gym, do an activity with your partner, take the dog for a walk, whatever it is. Let's start there. In my money episode, I talked about how just because you make 6 figures doesn't mean that you profit 6 figures. And one of the biggest goals that I see people make is that they want to make 6 figures or profit 6 figures in a year. What I'd like to suggest, and I think would be a lot more aligned with your financial goals, is to set something realistic like, I want to increase my income by 10%, or I want to increase my income by 20%. Those are a little more attainable. And if you break them down into quarters, then you can see what's working when you hit those milestones and you can reevaluate throughout the year so that you're not just looking at it as a whole at the end of the year and trying to start something all over again. Baby steps, little things at a time. You can absolutely make six figures, but depending on where you're starting from, you might not profit six figures. Even if you have a digital product or you just started a YouTube channel, maybe smaller attainable goals are things like I want to sell X number of copies of this digital product, or I want to hit 1,000 subscribers this year and maybe aim to get 200 or 100 or 300 new subscribers a month. Take those goals and then you can work back with actionable steps that don't feel so overwhelming and cause you to shut down and give up. Other goals that I see people make are based on other people's success. So what I want you to do is get really real with yourself about what you want to attain this year. And maybe someone else's success is inspiration. So maybe you do want to achieve something that someone else has achieved. That's wonderful. But does it align with you and does it make sense for you and your routine and where you are right now? If you're serious about that kind of goal, great, and use that as a guiding light, but you need to break down the actionable steps that make sense for you. So don't go into it being like, I want to get a $30,000 brand partnership deal if you haven't even started your social media strategy yet, right? What we need to do first is build the foundation, get ourselves online, get ourselves in front of people, and then we can start to see that things are rolling. We've got subscribers, we've got people tuning in and buying into what we're talking about and showing us love and all that stuff. And then we can start to reach out and maybe get some of those brand deals. Baby steps. What I don't want you to do is set these big unrealistic goals and then feel so down on yourself when the year hasn't even started yet. Take those big goals, break them down into actionable steps by month, by week, by day, whatever makes sense for you. Move toward them in a way that feels good for you and aligns with your routine, feels healthy, doesn't make you feel so overwhelmed, but is realistically aligned with the kind of work and the amount of work that you can put into things. I can't say I can dedicate 40 hours a week to a side hustle. I just can't do it. I have a business. I'm starting teaching again. If I wanted to do something else above and beyond what I'm doing, 40 hours is so unrealistic. What I could do realistically is maybe work a few hours extra a week to try to get something else going. That's realistic for me. So I want you to think about what's realistic for you. All right, I want to get into 3 categories of goals that I think are really realistic to start with when you're starting a new year, a new month, a new chapter, whatever it is. It doesn't necessarily have to start January 1st of the new year. This can start at any time. But what I like to do is compartmentalize things. I really like to break things down into different sections of my life so that I know what to focus on. When I try to do too much at once, everything falls apart. But if I focus on key goals, they don't become extra stressors, they actually become motivators. The first category is your personal goals. What do you want for yourself? Most people will mix their personal and career goals together, but what I want you to do is separate them out. So think of personal goals like your health, your mental health, your physical health, your well-being, hobbies, personal growth, things that you can do to improve yourself on your journey to becoming the best version of yourself. So when we're talking about mental health, you got to set boundaries for things that are causing you too much stress. You need to eliminate things that no longer serve you, whether that be things or people. And I know that's hard sometimes, but we really got to take care of ourselves. If anything, time is going faster, days are shorter. We need to take care of our mental health by cutting out the things that no longer serve us. We also need to be super aware of the shit that we bring to the table, right? So if there's something that I need to fix within myself because I have a bad habit or past trauma or things that I'm doing that are not helping my journey to becoming my best self. Self-awareness is key here, and that could be through therapy or journaling or practicing mindfulness. Those are the kinds of things that could help me with my mental health. Physical health also contributes to mental health, I believe, and I feel like if I'm more physical, my mental health improves. So a personal goal for me would be to increase the amount of physical activity that I do because I know that it's going to make me feel better mentally. Something for you could be, I just want to move my body so many times a week. Maybe you want to sign up for a 5K run or a 10K run and work backwards from there to accomplish that goal in a few months, right? Set that realistic goal. If last year you had it on your goal sheet to be more mindful and you haven't meditated since January 2024, then maybe this year something like, I just want to be more mindful. I want to practice more mindfulness could be a goal you set for yourself. And then working backwards from that, maybe it's, I want to journal once a week. I just want to write down how I feel, how the week went, where I'm at, what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling once a week so that you have something to reflect on. That would be a great place to start. The next thing we want to think about is our career goals. These are not personal, these are career. Things like, I'm going to sit down with my boss and we are going to talk about getting a raise. That's a career goal, right? Because last year you didn't get a raise, you think you deserve a raise, or you know you deserve a raise. Now's the time to take that next step and try to increase your income for 2025. If you feel like you've been going above and beyond and you feel like this is something that you've been putting off, it's time to get out there and negotiate. If you're a solo creative entrepreneur, then one of your goals could be that you want to increase revenue by 10% this quarter. That might mean developing a new digital product or increasing your outreach to get more leads and more clients. So again, I don't want you to think I'm going to make 6 figures this year. I just want you to focus on right now. Focus on the months, and you can even group those months into quarters so that you have more time to work toward the goal, but make it attainable. I want to X by X. I want to build my email list by this day so that I can potentially increase my leads by 20% this quarter. Something really specific is going to help you, A, stay on track, and B, be able to measure whether or not that goal is attainable, whether or not you hit that goal, and what you need to change for the next round of reflection. If you are starting your business journey, if you're a creative entrepreneur and you're just getting into it and you're starting it as a side hustle on top of something that you already have, we're done with the hustle culture. So we want to look at this as something that feels good. If it doesn't feel good to you, it's probably not the right time or not the right thing. So if this is something that you're starting on top of something you're already doing with like a full-time 9-to-5 job, realistically, what I want you to do is set aside a certain amount of time that you can realistically stick to every week. So if it's 3 hours a week, 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 2 hours a week, whatever it is. If you're getting into something, start small and build on it as you go. Start with something a little less, like 1, 2, 3 hours a week, and then build up from there once you know that it's something that you can sustain. If it feels overwhelming, if it doesn't feel good anymore, maybe something needs to change and it just doesn't work with your lifestyle, that's okay. Okay, we can reevaluate. Start small, grow from there. And with career goals, I just want to remind you that we're not setting those career goals based on someone else's version of success. We're thinking about our version of success. We're not doing this for anyone else. We're doing this for ourselves. Stick to your vision and remember that what feels good for someone else might not feel good for you. And we are always, always, always doing what feels good and aligns with us and our goals and our big picture mission. All right, and then the third category is relationship goals. And when I'm talking about relationship goals, I don't mean just romantic goals. This could be friendships, family, whatever it is that you can do to increase the relationships in your life. I'm personally going to focus on my partner and me when I'm talking about relationship goals because I'm excited about going into a new year with him. And I really want to work on becoming stronger and having healthier communication. And we get so busy that one of my goals will absolutely be being more intentional about the time that we spend together. I love quality time. That is one of my love languages. So one of the things that we're going to do together is set these goals that make sense for both of us. And one of them being, how can we be more intentional with quality time? Because we're always going to be busy. That's not going to change. So how can we work around that? The thing about relationships and relationship goals is that it's not about changing the other person or fixing the other person. It's about how you two can come together to work towards something that works for both of you. So if having a date night once a week isn't working, maybe it's once a month. Maybe, like I said, it's just about being intentional about quality time. So like you have Thursday off, I have Thursday off. Okay, let's get together and do something. Let's go for a hike, the movies. Let's watch some football, let's make dinner together, let's go out for dinner, whatever it is. It's about communicating and finding what works for both of you to keep you on the same page. When we're so busy and we're so focused on everything else, our relationships suffer because we end up putting the person and the people we love last. We do this a lot, don't we? We get so focused on everything else that the people we love the most get neglected. I'm sure you can relate to this, but we want to fix that. We want to focus on the people that are here now in our lives, the people who love us, the people we love, the people who care about us, the people we care about. We want to put our effort and attention into nurturing those relationships so they can continue to last and continue to fill our cups. We need friends, we need our partners, we need family members that are good for our souls, right? This isn't about the people that we need to cut out because that also needs to happen. We need to get rid of people and things that no longer serve us, but the ones that do listen, the ones that care, the ones that are unjudgmental, the ones that give us the hard truths, the ones that cheer us on and motivate us and just love us up so much. We need to focus on them and we need to be intentional about nurturing those relationships. So your relationship goals should focus around how can I show up better for you and how can you show up better for me? Let's meet in the middle and rock this year and let's create some meaningful moments. Making goals that stick can be as simple as following this 3-step framework. Start with clarity. What do I really want and why does it matter? Okay, let that be your main guiding light when you're thinking about the goals that you want to set for yourself in any of the categories we talked about today. Then you want to take actionable steps and scale it back to the point where you can ask yourself, what's the smallest step I can take today to get me closer to that goal? And then the third one is accountability. How are you going to track your progress? Are you going to track weekly, monthly, or quarterly so that you know if you're on track, what's working, what's not working, what you might need to change, and how you can maximize the year to get you closer to your big dreams and the person that you really want to be? It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up for yourself and being consistent, showing yourself some love, showing yourself some grace when you fall off track, but then getting back on track and moving forward. I would love for you to share your goals for the new year with me in the comments. Let me know how you're going to track your goals and hold yourself accountable. And if you need a little help, especially if you're starting your own creative venture or you're a creative entrepreneur that really wants to grab hold of this new year and make it count, I do have a success planner that is up on my website. I'll link it in the description below. Whatever you do, I hope that this new year brings you so much more love, so many more blessings. Be thankful that you got this far because it's been tough. It feels like it's been tough for the last 5 years. And if nothing else, just give yourself that acknowledgement that you're here, you're doing it, and you're here and you're listening to this because you're interested in moving forward and growing and becoming more of that amazing person that you already are. So until next year,